Yo, what's up, teammates? It is me again, Duna, and welcome to my first review ever. So I really hope you enjoy it. This universe is back in theaters with Wonder Woman, starred by Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. But is this movie worth watching? Is Gal Gadot a good Wonder Woman? Let's find out in this honest review. Before we start, let me remind you that this is a homemade review. I am no expert, no professional at this whatsoever. I'm just giving my most honest opinion. Okay, so let's begin. Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins and written by Alan Haber and Zack Snyder, starts in Themyscira, a beautiful tropical island with perfect weather and perfect women, away from the human world and hidden only by a mystic veil and a big fog. There we can learn a little bit about our main character's childhood. I mean, Wonder Woman, of course. We get to know how did she grow up, how she trained, and so many things that she had to struggle while growing up. Everything changes when Chris Pine, aka Steve Trevor, arrives into the island by accident, and then Diana, or Wonder Woman, gets to know a little bit about the Second World War that is going on right now on the, let's call it, human world or normal world. Remember that Themyscira is apart from it. Diana convinces herself that this is Ares doing and decides to go on an adventure with Chris Pine, aka Steve Trevor, to save the day, stop Ares, and put an end to the war. The movie can be divided in 3 acts. The first one is Themyscira, second one is London, where Diana does everything to learn everything about Ares and this Second World War that is obviously something new for her. And finally, the third act is when Diana finally arrives to the battlefront. Once again, there's a superhuman with a shield and a red and blue suit getting rid of all the bad guys, aka the Nazis. And no, I'm not talking about Steve.
I understood that reference.
So, I promise that there will be no spoilers in this video, and this all that I'm gonna talk about the story, at least what it contains. Let's move on, guys. The story. The story is pretty good. It's pretty decent. I honestly really enjoyed the story, and I'm not talking only about the fight. I talk about the whole story on the movie. There's this kind of movie where this it's called superhero. It's innocent and lives only on her world apart, and start learning about normal customs, normal habits about people. She doesn't know anything about our culture. I mean, as you know, as humanity, not only as countries. The story is good. It contains a lot of funny moments and jokes, which, at least in my opinion, is kind of new in DC movies. Not that they never done a joke, but it's not pretty common to find one, and this movie has a lot. I can guarantee that I really laughed 4 or 5 times, honestly, having a good time. And this is always welcome because this kind of dark stories needs some, you know, humoristic part to make it a little bit lighter, to make everything not so heavy on the watcher, not so, how can I put it in words, not so dramatic, not so dark all the time. So the story is pretty good, it's pretty decent. Once again, the character is moved a little bit by love, which, by the way, I don't think is wrong, and not just because she's a woman. I think it was a perfect excuse to give her a good motivation. Actually, you can see Wonder Woman pretty motivated to do her task. Visually, the movie looks pretty good. The fighting choreographies are astounding, they're pretty cool, the CGI works perfectly fine, and I don't know how, but they made it look so organic. I think, and I'm pretty sure, that they helped a lot themselves using slow motion. There are a lot of scenes in slow motion which are not forced. They do not feel forced and included, you know, because they had to put a... I mean, they feel organic. They feel part of the movie. They don't feel forced nor anything. And they look pretty good. And they help the choreography to both give a better look at the fighting scene and perform hard stunts. The acting is pretty good. Gal Gadot does a pretty good and pretty decent job as Wonder Woman, and Chris Pine is an excellent Steve Trevor, which we may not have that many information about him, or at least I don't, but he does a pretty good job in there. Of course, no movie is perfect, so there are minor mistakes during some fighting scenes, but between all the explosions and the music and the whole scene, they can just get by, they can just pass us by. There's no really hard point in that. You will not notice many mistakes. At least I didn't notice one the first time. I have to look a little bit closer to find one or two. They're not big mistakes anyway. The visual effects are pretty cool as well. There's no mistake on that. Like I mentioned, the CGI is doing a perfect job. And again, remember that it's a DC movie, so there are some dark scenes, but this is not bad. I think it goes pretty well with both the story and the style of the movies they're telling. They look pretty good. Visually looks great. Talking about music, the soundtrack is not so bad. I also got to say that it's not the best soundtrack in the life. There are some scenes that you will not notice if there's or not a soundtrack playing in the background. And well, it contains some catchy tunes and some epic music when everything gets hardcore. When they start hitting and fighting and taking the shit out of the bad guys or good guys, the music does a good job in there. The rest of the movie is not memorable, to be honest. Sound effects, however, are on top. The sound effects work perfectly fine, they're perfectly matched with the scene, and they feel part of the universe. They doesn't feel fake. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correct, but they sound pretty good. So at this point, they could have done a little bit better with the soundtrack. The sound effects goes just so right, and well, the music will not be so memorable, in my opinion at least. My final score is an 8 flat. I think the movie is pretty good, especially with what DC has been doing recently. Well, and recently I've been with Batman vs Superman, which at least in my opinion is not a bad movie, but you can notice that DC is in a hurry to catch up with Marvel Universe, which has been working its universe for several years now. This movie is entertaining, it's funny, it has a good moral on it, and a good topic that it's war between, humans and how cruel can humans really be. It's totally recommendable, so I would really advise you to watch it if you haven't. If you have, well, I would like to know if you agree with me that this is a really good movie. Finally, I would like to tell you guys that there is no post-credit scene, so unless you're a hardcore fan who always stays until the end of the credits, there's no point in you waiting, guys. You can go and there will be no post-credit scene. I can guarantee you, got my word on that. And well, with that said, this is gonna be all for my review. Remember that this is homemade and I am no professional. Still, I really hope you enjoyed it. I didn't include any spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, you're safe. Anyway, guys, let me know your score. Let me know if you like the movie or not. And well, if you like the video, I would really appreciate that you hit that like button. Also, remember to join a team today by clicking the subscribe button below. Guys, take care. Thank you very much for being here. I'll be seeing you again on the next video. Whoa. Bye bye.